I'm Chef Jeffrey Held, and this is Cooking for Wellness at NYU Langone Health. We hosted a plant-based recipe contest this winter for employees throughout our health system. After several rounds of voting by our own NYU Langone Health employees, we have a winner. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our winner, Julia Smith, Assistant Nurse Manager on KP10 and a 2025 Learner Holistic Nurse Fellow. Welcome, Julia.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. It's an honor to be here. I'm so excited to be sharing my recipe with you all today.
The roles are reversed today. Julia is going to show us this fantastic coconut ginger red lentil soup recipe. I'm very excited. Julia, are you ready?
Of course, let's get started.
All right, let's do it.
So we have everything prepped. So we're gonna go ahead and put some olive oil into our pot. I use around 3 tablespoons, but you can use whatever works for you.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna start by adding the aromatics. So we're gonna add our onion, our carrot,
Love it.
and our celery. And we're just gonna cook this for a few minutes until the onions are translucent.
Julia, how did this recipe come about?
So I've been cooking this recipe for years. It was actually inspired by a patient that I used to work with before I was a nurse when I worked at a food pantry. And we used to stock a lot of shelf-stable items.
Yeah, lentils.
And one of them was red lentils. She described this soup that she used to make with the red lentils using coconut milk. And I had never cooked with those before. And I went home, I bought them, and I was inspired, and I kind of made the recipe my own, and I've been cooking it ever since.
Nice. What really impressed me about this recipe was that, you have tons of flavor and it's super intense, but the ingredients are very accessible and they're not costly. They're things you can get at any grocery store. It's really, really helpful for us to be able to share that with our audience.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love the most about this recipe.
Yeah.
Eating healthy, especially when you're eating plant-based, doesn't have to be expensive.
Julia, in your career as a nurse, how often do you get to share nutritional advice with patients? Is that a daily thing or is it rare?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I work on the GI surgical unit, so nutrition comes up a lot for our patients, I would say daily. We have a lot of patients who had surgery and need to follow a specialized diet for their recovery. And they have a lot of questions about how they're going to incorporate their favorite foods, their cultural foods, and still adhere to those diets. Now we're going to add our garlic.
Oh, smells delicious.
And our ginger. And this really forms that warm base to the soup.
Nice. I like this being the assistant thing. It's good. Oh, it smells amazing.
Yeah, I love the smell of ginger.
So good.
So we'll just cook this up for about a minute because we don't want the garlic to burn. So now that that's cooked up a little bit, we're gonna add our butternut squash. I love butternut squash, but if you don't have that at home, you could always use sweet potatoes, are a good substitution.
Sweet potatoes would be great in this, right? What do we got? Smoked paprika?
So we got smoked paprika. We have turmeric, which gives a really great flavor to this dish. We have cumin. And we have chili powder as well. Kind of similar spices that you would find in a curry.
So much going on right now.
There's a lot of spice in this dish.
I love it.
So now I'm gonna add the lentils. Thank you.
Lentils. Rinsed.
So these are rinsed red lentils. This is about 1 pound of red lentils.
Exactly 1 pound. I weighed it.
This is a great dish because it could feed a whole family. It's also really good for meal prep. This should make at least 6 to 8 servings.
Yeah, you could make this and then refrigerate it for 2-3 days, right?
Yeah, and it even tastes better the next day.
Nice.
So I'm gonna add in our vegetable broth.
As I always say, we didn't make the vegetable broth, even though we typically do, but if you're gonna buy it, look for the low sodium option always.
This is actually the same one I used at home.
Nice. We gonna be covering this or leaving it up?
I usually cook it uncovered.
Okay.
So now this has been cooking for about a half an hour. We have a few final steps to finish up the soup.
Nice.
So I'm gonna add the coconut milk, and Jeffrey, if you could please chop the cilantro and the green onions.
Of course.
So the coconut milk adds some creaminess to the dish, and then I'm gonna add some kale as soon as this is incorporated.
Herbs going in too?
Yeah, we can put them in after the kale.
Okay. Sorry, chef. Almost got too early.
So I like to serve this up with some toasted sunflower seeds on top, some green
Little
onions,
texture, nice,
something
nice.
crunchy,
Yeah.
because the soup is soft, and then a little squeeze of lemon on top as well.
Beautiful. Wait, am I doing parsley and cilantro for the garnish too?
I do at home. We can put that on top.
All right, I got our bowls. We're doing farro in there too first, right?
Yeah, so I usually put the farro on the bottom and then kind of ladle the soup on top.
All right, we're ready to eat. I'm starting, getting excited. So I'm putting farro right in the bottom, you said?
Yeah, you can put that on the bottom.
Just in the middle?
Yes, that looks good.
More?
I love farro.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's such a good source of protein and fiber.
Yeah, we learned how to make risotto out of farro. It was pretty awesome. Just have to crack it with the VitaPrep blender and crack open the hull, and then you can get it to be like creamy.
That sounds delicious.
Pretty awesome. Farro's just so good.
So I'm gonna ladle the soup over the farro.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna put a little bit more in this one.
Scallion, parsley, and cilantro, right?
Yes, and green onion.
And then you
Yeah.
have
the seeds. For a little crunch.
nice. I love the seeds. That's perfect. All right, I'm so excited to taste this. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited
Turn this
too.
burner off. Beautiful. Did you do the lemon?
No, I usually do that right at the end.
Thank you for cooking today. This is
Thanks
wonderful.
for having me. It was such a pleasure.
It's delicious. And it's like beautiful too. Love it.
I love the colors in this dish. Yeah, it came out really good.
This is epic. The crunch and all the herbs. Absolutely love it.
I'm glad you like it. And I hope everyone at home likes it too. I'd like to give a shout out to my coworkers on KP10. You all are wonderful, and it's such a pleasure to work with you. I hope that you make this recipe at home.
Julia, this recipe is truly amazing. I want to congratulate you again on your win. Thank you so much for coming in. It was a pleasure to have you in the kitchen today. Any final words for our viewers?
Thanks for having me today, Jeffrey. It was such a pleasure to be here and to share this special recipe with you all. As a nurse and someone who's really passionate about nutrition and holistic care, I really believe that food is a meaningful connection for people, and I'm so happy to have this experience.
Please check out more episodes on the Cooking for Wellness playlist.